So good morning, everyone. I'm Jeff, and I'm a junior in Maroon Fam. And what I want to share today is a story of how God has brought me near to his heart and shown me how he is always close to mine. Now, I'm sure we've all found ourselves in a season full of excitement and hope, where there are things on the near horizon that have the potential to bring us great joy if they work out the way that we want them to. That was where I found myself heading into last semester. Towards the end of this past summer, I gave a Tuesday talk on the NLCF Instagram and shared about how things were getting dull for me at home and about the excitements that had been growing in me towards coming back to Blacksburg that fall. Now, there were a number of situations and opportunities that I knew could arise in the weeks and months ahead of me at the time, which of course had the potential to bring me either great joy or disappointment. Now, a few words that I shared in this brief excerpt that would become abundantly clear in time were these. A simple act of regularly releasing my worries and excitements of the possibilities of the future and abiding in the Lord here and now, with no expectation apart from growing closer in relation to him, has been growing in me a sense of security. One stating that no matter what delight or disappointment might be headed my way, I will always have and need nothing more than intimacy with the Father. Now, the reason I start this story here is that when you look ahead into the semester I was then looking ahead into, you would see that just about every one of these big areas that had the potential to bring me great joy ended in disappointment, with some causing anguish to the point that they still weigh on me as I share these words with you. And in this time, I had no choice than to lean on that idea that I had previously written, that I need nothing more than intimacy with the Father. Now, for those of you who know me well, you know that a practice I use to regularly engage with God is silence. What this usually looks like is I sit in silence in recognition of the Lord's presence with me there and listen. Usually I would try my best to quiet myself, set apart however I was feeling or what I was going through, and listen. And while I myself have certainly experienced God's goodness from this, at this point in my life, what I needed was to fully embrace the pain I was feeling and place it all before God. But this felt selfish, as if I was denying God the opportunity to push me where he was leading me. I specifically remember one afternoon when I was planning on meeting up with a friend for dinner. I was on campus already and I had about an hour and a half before the time we planned on meeting up, and I found myself alone at the loft. For whatever reason, this day was really tough for me, and a lot of the feelings of disappointment and abandonment had shown their face in my mind. I sat there on the couch and I cried. I cried out to my God, whom I felt was either leading me into suffering or not leading me at all. Over the course of that hour and a half, I felt God's presence drawing near to me. He showed me that he is present in my disappointment and that he is with me in my pain. But what really struck me was that I felt a presence that went beyond simply being there with me in the moment, but one where his personal care and concern for me was displayed through a sharing of a burden. I certainly didn't feel happy by the end of this time, but I felt very befriended and very loved. In the messiness of feeling lost or abandoned, bringing this to God revealed to me two very important truths: that God is better for me and that there is no rush to get out of the mess. God first revealed to me and gave me confidence in the fact that he would use my situation for his good and would shape me in order to receive the good gifts that he had for me. And also reminded me that he wasn't going anywhere. He wasn't upset with me because I was upset with him or my situation, and he wasn't going to rush me out of where that I was. God was fully emotionally present in the mess alongside me, strengthening the idea that he is entirely love. He cares about my struggles and he cares about how I feel. What I experienced over these 90 minutes I believe to be the essence of how we as Christians should practice lament. This was God showing me his closeness to my own heart. And what I've noticed since then is that in a world that is constantly pulling away from God and continually in need of his redemption, there will always be pain. And God has challenged me to seek his eyes for his creation, which includes but goes far beyond my own struggles. And in this way, I've learned to draw near to God's heart too, to celebrate the joys I glimpse when he makes himself known in the world, and to deeply long to see him revealed in all aspects of life as I, as his child, experience them. I'm Jeff Suliga, and that is my Snapshot.